considered the marketing savior for the sport.
So many people were also painting her out to be the problem. She could never do enough. She could never speak out.
The WNBA players are not pleased with Caitlin Clark's recent European offer. The entitled players feel that because they have been in the league longer, they should also receive a large contract with a higher value.
Game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm saying.
The WNBA will collapse as a result of Caitlin's move overseas. She will get the greatest salary in the world, which she truly deserves, and she may finally be able to play in a league that respects her instead of players who are trying to bring her down.
Here's the reality. It wasn't what it is. The quality of basketball may have been up to snuff, and you had somebody as popular as Cheryl Swoops, who had her own signature shoe, had to deal with Nike and all of this other stuff. But the bottom line is, very few people gave a damn.
It's understandable why Caitlin would like to remain in a league where even her own players betray her. After the news, Nalissa Smith and DJ Carrington were seen giggling about the widely shared eye poke.
Ow! Oh, I'm sorry. You poked me in the eye. You did.
I did not poke you.
Did you do it on purpose?
I did not poke you.
You did it on purpose.
We have a teammate named Caitlin. The opposition players clearly don't want Caitlin in the league, and now that her own teammates are making fun of her, she should accept the EuroLeague offer and leave the WNBA, pleading for her to return. DJ Carrington is asking if she did it on purpose by mimicking Caitlin while her own teammate team hasn't shown any signs of supporting her either. Instead, they have been posting highlights of Smith's season.
I wonder if Caitlin, in every post-game press conference, she came out and talked about the kind of hateful comments that she was getting. If she came out and told everybody the reason why she has personal security that goes with her every single place, it's a lot. And so it's not just Caitlin Clark fans or Indiana Fever fans. It is not all going in one direction.
Why does this specific move cause such a stir within the league? Caitlin Clark's contract with a European team isn't just another move. It's a glaring example of the gap between opportunities available for some WNBA players and those who can command attention abroad. Players who have been in the league for years haven't been able to reach ASA, but Caitlin, who recently made the switch to professional basketball, has managed to garner international notice. One of the most well-known figures in women's basketball, Wilson, hasn't gotten the kind of offers Caitlin has.
Saying it wasn't to the degree of Caitlin Clark being on that basketball court and people watching her, but nevertheless, rising tide lifts all.
For A'ja Wilson, the underlying message that this decision sends to the rest of the WNBA is what's causing the displeasure about Caitlin's move, not just the fact that she signed a deal to play in Europe. A'ja has long held the view that winning the league MVP award should entail more than just winning a trophy. In her opinion, MVP status should inevitably bring the best opportunities in terms of contracts and recognition. However, she is currently witnessing Caitlin Clark, who hasn't played for nearly as long or achieved as much in the professional world, receiving offers that someone of A's caliber ought to be receiving.
There were a lot of people that laid the groundwork that deserve shine as well. Here's what we're going to do.
Are they playing now?
Here's what we're going to do.
Are they playing now?
We don't have Andrea.
Remember, you got
we don't have any of the women, Chanae. They'll come back on. We'll revisit this conversation gladly.
While Caitlin's games at the collegiate level were packed with fans eager to watch her play, A'ja's frustration is heightened because it highlights the harsh reality that success and skill don't always translate into financial gain in the WNBA. Meanwhile, even though A'ja was the MVP, she didn't attract the same audiences at the WNBA level.
There's a reason 12 million people are watching ESPN for a game. If that game was on CBS, they probably would have had 25, 30 million people watching that game.
DJ Carrington's hatred for Caitlin Clark is well known. The two players had a past together, and Carrington's bitterness reached a peak during the notorious eye poke incident, in which Caitlin suffered a black eye rather than expressing regret for her behavior. Carrington decided to make fun of Caitlin, which increased their level of hostility. This public act of disrespect wasn't a one-time occurrence. Rather, it's a sign of a longer-standing animosity that Carrington has harbored towards Caitlin. This animosity probably originates from the fact that, despite Carrington's own talent as a player, She hasn't been able to attain the same degree of success or notoriety as Caitlyn, which has led to a sense of bitterness that was made worse by the I Joke incident. It seems like a personal blow that Caitlyn's quick ascent to fame is being given to someone who hasn't put in the same amount of effort as she has.
It's producing the most watched WNBA games in over 2 decades. What does that tell you? That tells you that before Caitlin Clark came along, it wasn't nearly as popular. It doesn't mean it wasn't growing in popularity over the last 2 to 3 years. But 3 years ago, WNBA was an afterthought.
What's most concerning about Carrington's actions is that, rather than offering an apology for the harm, she seems to enjoy Caitlyn's troubles. Carrington made fun of it by making fun of Caitlyn in a way that seemed to imply that she liked watching her suffer. This type of behavior transcends professional rivalry and becomes personal. Carrington has been disrespectful and resentful of Caitlyn, and Caitlyn has had to cope with this throughout her WNBA career. Nalissa Thomas has sided with DJ Carrington in their mutual animosity towards Caitlyn Clark following the IPOOK incident. Nalissa was seen laughing with her girlfriend about Caitlyn's injury, demonstrating a complete lack of empathy for her fellow player. This kind of behavior is shocking, especially coming from someone who should be a professional athlete. The fact that Nalissa and Carrington find amusement in Kate's injury speaks to a deeper problem within the league level of hostility. The WNBA is meant to be a place where players support one another and collaborate to improve the league, but instead she is dealing with open hostility from her peers, creating a toxic environment where players are actively trying to bring each other down in addition to competing against one another. Caitlyn's injuries on the court wasn't merely an accident. It came to represent the animosity she encounters from players such as Carrington and Melissa.
Racism has been impacting the WNBA well before this year. This is not a new thing. Sure. This is, and in that way, I do think Caitlyn's being used as a pawn. Caitlyn didn't bring racism to the WNBA. This has been happening.
The annoyance that challenges Caitlyn Clark faces extend beyond her interactions with other WNBA players and extend to her own team, the Indiana F. In professional sports, a team is meant to represent a safe and supportive environment where players are united in a common goal, winning games and achieving success together. It's about trust, collaboration, and solidarity, especially during difficult times. However, Caitlyn's reality with the Indiana Fever has been anything but supportive. Rather than coming together to support her, who was obviously the victim of a physical injury, the team seemed indifferent, failing to publicly defend her or even acknowledge the situation in a meaningful way. This must have felt like a betrayal, as not only were her efforts being sidelined, but their own team seemed more interested in celebrating the accomplishments of others than protecting one of their star players. If a player like Caitlyn, who has contributed so much value and attention to the WNBA, isn't receiving support from her teammates and coaching staff, it suggests a far deeper problem and raises significant issues about the internal dynamics of the organization. For any athlete, especially one of Caitlyn's caliber, the lack of support she received isn't limited to a single incident. Rather, it speaks to a larger problem within the team culture. In this instance, Caitlyn's teammates and staff have chosen to keep quiet or concentrate on other players, sending a clear message that her contributions to the team and personal well-being don't carry as much weight as they should. It can be emotionally taxing for everyone to feel alone or unprotected by their own team.
All I gotta say is she's lucky this UConn team isn't healthy. And that's a true statement.
That's wrong, Molly.
Monica?
That's wrong, Molly. Molly,
like
it's
five
excuses.
top players,
it's
am I
excuses,
right?
Molly. It's
Major
excuses.
injuries.
You would not be saying that if it wasn't UConn.
Major stars not playing.
Listen, excuse me,
go.
it's her against Caitlyn Clark.
Stephen A.
Ain't no excuses.
Stephen
You
A.
got there.
Wait a minute.
Don't want to hear that now.
Stephen A.
Let me tell you, if
Paige
Georgetown gets
Beckers-
back in the mix, I'm going to be insufferable. I'm just telling you that now.
What?
If Paige Beckers didn't basically miss 2 seasons, I don't know if we'd be talking about Caitlyn Clark the way we are.
A lot of this noise came by people that were sitting on this network. They tried to minimize her, said, well, you giving her all this credit. What about the women that came before her? What the women came before her, what they did cannot be taken away. That ain't got nothing to do with Caitlyn Clark.
All I know, when they got eliminated from the playoffs, the attendance dropped, the ratings dropped. If the WNBA is more, it is, and I get it. Why aren't people watching?
It can cause players to lose confidence and feel alienated, which affects their performance and general contentment in the league. It also makes Caitlin wonder if the WNBA and, more especially, the Indiana Fever are the right places for her to continue her career. After all, why would she stick around when her own team doesn't seem to be supporting her? Caitlin's decision to think about playing in Europe is further complicated by this incident. She would probably make more money, deal with less animosity from rival players, and possibly even find herself in a more courteous and encouraging team atmosphere. The Indiana Fever's lack of support for Caitlin may be the last straw she needs to decide to transfer abroad, because European leagues are renowned for providing their best players with the tools and encouragement they require to succeed.